Good morning. So I'm gonna make another thing out of crust. It's super easy. This is the easiest big French toast or French toast casserole that you've ever made. The first thing I do is I cut everything into cubes, and I use whatever my kids don't eat. So this week it's mostly whole wheat crust and then some Italian white that they just got and didn't, they just don't eat the crusts and they eat bread every day. So we have lots of crust. So I just cube everything, and then to make it like crunchy, and like feeling like it's stale but not really, I put it in the oven on 200 for 15 to 20 minutes. I just checked it. It's been in for 15 minutes, not done. So I put it on for another 5. And that makes it hold up really well for the baked French toasts. I have gems on here apparently. So then it won't get soggy and like yucky and whatever. So the rest of the recipe is super, super simple. I mixed a couple things up and measured stuff ahead of time just to make it really easy. So it's 6 eggs, and I mix everything all in one bowl because I just really want to get it done. My kids are watching a show and eating their breakfast, and yeah, so we're gonna make this. So it's 6 eggs, and I just put them in the big bowl. And then it's 2 3/4 cups milk. So it says in the original recipe 2 cups milk and then 3/4 cups, half and half. And I've made it with like every different variation of that. The first time I made it vegan. So I made it with 2 cups soy milk and 3/4 cups soy milk creamer, caramel, and it was delicious. Another time I made it with all half and half because that's what we had, and it was really delicious. I've made it with all milk. I've made it with some soy milk, some regular milk, some half and half. One time I made it with skim and half and half. It's really just milk. Any milk that you have on hand. 2 cups, 2 3/4 cups. And then it is a half a cup of sugar. So I'm running a little bit low on sugar, but I had some stevia, so I just blended half and half. And you know what? I realize it's probably gonna be really super sweet, but I'm not gonna add. So it says that you can have the sugar, which I've done before also, and then just use a 1/4 cup of sugar in the mix, and because there's a topping. And I've broken down the topping. You're supposed to use cold butter, chop it up, and then use sugar and flour on top of it, but the flour, I don't think really adds anything, so I don't do that. I do the butter and the sugar. So I'm really lazy and I really like easy things, so I just use margarine for the top, and I just, scoop it out and put it on top. And then I use brown sugar, which is what it calls for the top, and cinnamon. There's also cinnamon in the recipe for, what you blend in with the bread. So it's 2 3/4 cup milk, and then in here I put a tablespoon of vanilla and a teaspoon of cinnamon. And it's just all mixed together, just kind of get some of it done ahead of time. Okay, so this is the half a cup of sugar, and like I said, it's also half stevia because the white sugar's in the basement, and I just didn't have time to go get it this morning. So let me get a big whisk. This is my daughter's whisk, so it's not gonna work so well for the eggs. So here we go. We got a Christmas tree one now. It's very exciting in my house. We have lots of child-friendly everything. So I'm just gonna whisk the eggs really fast, and then I'll add everything else. And this is really the mix for the bread. The bread's almost done. And then once the bread comes out, I just dump it in here, and then I spray the pan, as long as we still have some, with coconut oil, and with a dish or whatever you want to call it, with coconut oil, and then I just dump everything in, and then I bake it. And let me get all this out of there, and this in here. So I have made it with, when I made it with the soy milk and the soy milk creamer, they were both sweetened, so I did have the sugar, and that worked out really well. Oh, there's the bread. Okay, so now I'm just gonna scoop the bread out and plop it right in here. Not with this whisk, actually. I'm gonna get my wooden spoon. So, let's take that guy out. We have these like measuring cup ginormous thingies. Spoons, so I just am gonna use one of those. And, oh good, you can still see me here. So I'll pop this right next to there. No, you can't see that. Okay, let me bring this over. Make it easier to see. And that will make it easier. Okay, so here we go. So here's the bread. It doesn't look brown or anything, but like, well, this one does. But if you feel it, it's, you know, hard. It's not soft. It's not going to get soggy in the French toast, and holds up really well. So let's mix all this goodness together. So I just scoop it out in giant scoopfuls and just dump it in there. I stir it with a wooden spoon, and then it's pretty much done. I spray the pan, or I, you know, wipe it down with margarine or butter, whatever. Before coronavirus, I was actually a vegan. Dairy has always bothered me, and I was also gluten-free the majority of the time, because that also bothers me. I have intolerances, so I can have like a little bit of both dairy and gluten. Eggs don't bother me at all, but I've been a vegetarian most of my life, so I'm no stranger to French toast. But I had been a vegan, so now with coronavirus, it's so much harder and to get fresh fruits and vegetables and everything. And I'm home with my kids, and so I've been eating some dairy and some bread. And you know what? As long as I don't overdo it, it doesn't hurt my stomach. So you just stir it up with the bread in the bowl with the eggs and milk and sugar and vanilla and cinnamon. And oh my gosh, it already smells good. All right, so I'm gonna take this, put that over there. And let me see if I have the spray. I do. Okay, so I'm just gonna dump out the crumbs. So I forgot to say earlier, to bake the French toast, you need to set the oven for 350 degrees. Usually I've been, you know, had the bread cubes in there on 200, so it doesn't take too long to warm up. Okay, so I've mixed all the cubes in and put them in the pan after I sprayed it. So now I'm just gonna put the margarine over it and the brown sugar and a little bit more cinnamon. So you can use any margarine. We have a little bit left of this butter with canola oil, so that's what I'm gonna use. It's just so much easier. I mean, you can use regular butter too. You just have to chop it up into smaller pieces, you know. This just will come off in like little tiny pieces and make everything easy for me. So that's what I'm gonna do, because I'm doing this, you know, with my kids here. It's been very exciting doing all of the things with my kids here. They're usually at their dad's for 2 nights a week, and now they're not, because his brother who lives with him is still working. So we are all here all the time. It's very, very exciting. They have learned how to wash dishes, and they have learned how to do the laundry and how to fold laundry and how to put it away and how to make their beds. They were already doing that actually, but they've been reminded several times how to make their beds. They have learned how to bake, and my daughter just came in a couple minutes ago and said she really wants me to make pancakes with her in a few minutes, so maybe we'll get a video of that too. It's always very exciting. They bake muffins with me almost every day. And oh, and pizza. We've made pizza, a lot of pizza, because we're actually trying really hard not to order out. We have been ordering like gift certificates and things like that from restaurants so that they don't, you know, go under, but I just, with all the germs and everything, I just would rather not. All right, so I need some brown sugar. So I have one of those little things in here, but it doesn't feel like it's doing very well. All these little guys. So the brown sugar is pretty hard. I'm gonna need a metal spoon to get this out of here and sprinkle it on. I try so hard not to get clumps, but you know, it happens. It's sugar, it's delicious. If it happens, you know, usually it'll just come off actually when you cut it. So that's okay. Hi, what's up, baby? Yeah. How can I help you? I'm just putting the brown sugar on top of the French toast. She's coming in to say hi. Oh yeah, that's a big clump. Uh-huh.
I feel hungry.
Okay. Would you like some yogurt or a banana or some strawberries?
Strawberry and grapes.
Strawberries and grapes. Strawberries and grapes in one bowl?
Uh-huh.
All right, you got it.
But in the same bowl.
In the same bowl, you got it.
And I only need one bowl.
One bowl,
Put them
amazing.
both in.
And put them both in. Okay, I will. Okay, so I just sprinkled some on there. You know, there were a couple clumps, but it wasn't so bad. And so then I'm gonna sprinkle some cinnamon on. And I want to try. I actually I make a homemade chai. So this is my homemade chai, and I'll do a video about that too at some point. But and for a chai latte, you just I brew black tea, and then I warm up milk, and I mix this with the milk. I had to actually grind the allspice with a mortar and pestle, so I actually strained it out too, and then I mix the tea and the spiced milk together, and I put some sugar, honey in it. It's delicious, amazing, totally worth doing. So I will make a video for that later. So at some point, I'm gonna make this baked French toast with the chai spice instead of just cinnamon and see how it turns out, but I didn't do it today. So I'm just gonna do the cinnamon, but I put it somewhere. There it is, earlier. So you just sprinkle it with cinnamon, and it goes in on 350. Oh, it's still preheating. So I'm gonna pop it on top of the oven and just wait for it to get up to 350. So you have to bake it for 20 minutes covered with aluminum foil, and then 20 minutes uncovered. And sometimes it needs a little bit more. Sometimes it's more like 25 and 25, but usually 20 and 20 is good. And it's just loosely covered. It's not, you know, a huge deal. So I will come back on after the oven has warmed up and I have baked it all, and you can see what it looks like when it's done. It is so good. My uncle had it at my daughter's birthday party and said that it was stupid good. And he had to have 2 giant bowls of it. So that is recommendation in itself. Hello again. Okay, so the baked French toast is done now. So I'm gonna bring it over so you can see it. It looks delicious. It smells amazing. Okay. So that's what it looks like when it's done. It's brown, it's crispy. Oh, it smells really, really good. So I ended up baking it on 420 covered in the foil, and then 25 uncovered, and it's perfect. It's not soggy, it's not burnt, you know, it's perfect. So I really hope that you guys get to make this. You can use any bread, literally any bread at all. It's the same as the base for the croutons. I just cube everything up into like 1-inch cubes. And with this one, you know, I said earlier, I throw it in the same dish that I'm gonna use, so I don't have to dirty 2 dishes, and just bake it on 200 for 15 to 20 minutes until it gets like a little bit crunchy, and it won't get soggy for the French toast. So I hope you guys make it. It's really good. You can put maple syrup on it or not. One time I actually mixed the maple syrup in with the batter, and it gave it, you know, a little bit of a different flavor, but my mom really likes to pour the maple syrup on it, so I don't usually do that. I don't think any other variations. Oh, and when I eat it, actually, I put craisins and walnuts on it. So you could bake those in. I have baked it with almonds in it, the sliced almonds, and it came out really, really good. I added a little extra vanilla too. So it was like vanilla almond baked French toast, but the craisins and walnuts are also really good. I'm trying to think of anything else. That's really it. If I make the chai one, or if I bake it with anything else in it, I'll add it in the comments or in the description so that you guys can see that too. I hope you get to make it. It's so yummy. Have a wonderful day.